Okay, let's do some halachot pertaining to us. Okay, we've learned till now all the simanim that pertain to how to do Netilat Yadaim. We spoke about the fact that which things required to do Netilat Yadaim. Then we spoke about what type of keli a person must use. Then we spoke about the kavanah a person is supposed to have when he washes Netilat Yadayim. So now we're coming to the point of talking about Kuf Samach, which is Siman 160 on Orach Chaim, that talks about the concept of what type of water a person can use for Netilat Yadayim. Which water can a person use? So let's talk about the standard basic usage of water. We know, Baruch Hashem, as Rabbi Miller always used to say, he used to ask the phenomena, a miracle, why is the water clear? It says all over the world, you look at the water, you take the water into your hands, you look at the water is clear. There's no color to water. Everything in this world has color. Dirt has color, sand has color, flowers have color, clouds have color, the world, the sky has a color, everything is a color. But you look at water is clear. Why? So he says for the simple reason. So you should see what you're drinking. Imagine the water wasn't clear. Rocks, pebbles, dirt, flies, all the garbage would go into the system. Baruch Hashem, the water is clear. Now, Miller also used to ask a question, why did Hashem create a nose right above your mouth? Why is the nose above the mouth? So you should smell the food you put into your mouth. Can you imagine a person would not sense the bed, right? The bed, those people who don't have the sense of breathing, right? Or they don't have the smell and they don't have the taste. Hashem Yilachem, they could eat bad stuff and it's going to ruin their marechet ha'ikul, it's going to ruin their, they get food poisoning. So here we go. Now, which water do we use in order to wash Netilat Yadayim to accomplish our goal? So it says like this: any water that changed its color, original color, the clear color that it is, it became changed because of its own, or because something was put into it. He says such water will become pasul for Netilat Yadayim. You will not be able to use such water. How can water change color on its own? It's sitting in the vessel for a very long time. When it stays in the vessel, first of all, water that stays in one place for a long time, it becomes stale. It has that bad taste to it. In general, you should know, water does change its entity. A lot of people don't understand how it's possible. The Ran, in his drashot, we're talking about Rabbeinu Nissim, we're talking about hundreds of years ago. He says, on Shabbat, for example, how do you accomplish cooking by water? We know that cooking is only when you turn something hard to soft, or something soft to hard. For example, I have an egg, it's soft, I cook it on fire, the more I cook it, the harder it becomes, right? So I did change the status of the egg, from being soft, I made it hard. So same thing will be, let's say I have something hard, let's say potatoes are hard. I cook it for a long time, soft. It becomes very soft, so I accomplish something. But how by liquids, water, do you accomplish the concept of cooking? It was soft, loose. Right? Nozel, it's dripping, it's flowing water before and after. So what did I do? What did I accomplish? We know that Melacha and Shabbat means something which you have to change the status. So Rabbeinu Nissim says, listen to what he says. He says when you cook water which is raw, never cooked, is much more heavier. You cook the water, it becomes lighter. The water is lighter. A lot of people, you drink water. For example, even Chazal say, why was the river Chidekel called Chidekel? Nahar, Chad Naharim, the Tigris River by the Iraq Shama, down there by the Mesopotamian plain. Tigris, the waters, Chazal say it's Chidekel. Why is it called Chidekel? Because they say Maima Chadim, they are sharp, and they're Kalim, Chad Kal, Chadim and Kalim. That's what the Gemara says, it brings down explaining. So anybody who wants to feel light, he doesn't want to feel heavy. Like for example, a person is traveling, he doesn't want to become heavy, so he drinks water. Which water is better to drink? Always to drink the water of Chidekel, because that water is not going to add any weight to you. You'll be as light as a feather as you were till now, which is not so by the other water. The other was much harder, much heavier. So Rabbeinu Nissim says, in the water itself, he says, the molecules, right, which were attached together, when you cook them, they go apart. And that's what you accomplish when you come to cooking water on Shabbat. He brings it down. But then let's get back to where we were. So let's say the water is sitting in a pitcher, sitting in one place for a long time. And then you open the thing, you take out the water, you see the water the color of it changed. Such water is pasul for Netilat Yadayim. Another situation, for example, where the water changed not because of itself, because something else happened to it. By mistake, paint spilled into it. Even though you see the paint itself is still sitting in one spot, but it did give off some color to the water. The water changed, it becomes pasul for Netilat Yadaim. You cannot use for Netilat Yadaim at all. Which is not so, we'll see later on, there are exceptions to the rule. Let's say dirt in the water. Because of, let's say, a regev, somebody picked up a clutch of dirt and he threw it inside the water. That water changes its color, it becomes brown, off color. He says that's not a problem. It's not a problem because to begin with, a lot of places where the water is old, where the water comes from the rivers, from the ocean, from the lakes, it's all mixed with dirt anyways. It's all there. It's sitting. The way we purify water, because the running water purifies itself because everything gets stuck to the rocks and to the bottom. The top water is always clear. Okay. There's also a very simple system. Somebody who wants to use filtration system. What's the best way to filter water? The best way to filter water is you buy what's his name? You buy a green kufshin. You buy what's his name? You take a pitcher made out of earthenware. Earthenware. You take water from the sink, fill it up. Just in the morning, this water will become the cleanest water possible. Why? Because all the sediment from the water and all the dirt and all the schmutz goes down to the walls of this kli. The earthenware sucks all the dirt out and all the clean water stays on top. What do you think they do in the filters? All these aqua filters or whatever they sell you. Where do they sell you? Rocks they're selling you. They're selling you sand. All different types of sand, different types of minerals, and that's how they clean out the water for you. And the proof is, you take a look, you open it up, you see all the sand is inside. It doesn't take a long time before the whole thing gets dirty. So any water which changed its color naturally, or changed its color because it was sitting in one place for a long time, or changed color because something else fell into it, because pasul for Netilat Yadayim, you're not allowed to use it. Another type of water which you're not allowed to use for Netilat Yadayim, even the water is still clean, crystal clean, if work was done with it. If any melacha was done with such a water, it becomes pasul automatically, no good. For example, I was rinsing my dishes, and the water stayed clean. The dishes were a little bit dirty. Who was washing the dishes? I say, deficit. There's not a lot of water out there. Save the water! Because we have a suudah soon coming, we'll do Netilat Yadayim. Not allowed to. Not allowed to do that. Let's say same thing with a guy who's an apach, a locksmith, not a locksmith, a blacksmith, right? He heats up metal, and every time he heats up the metal, he bangs it, and then he takes it, he puts it inside the water to cool it off. Well, he wants to reuse this water for Netilat Yadayim. No. It was used for melacha, you did work with it. Say you will be somebody who washed Netilat Yadayim with his hands already. Let somebody wash Netilat Yadayim, say, the water is clean. Don't spill it out, we could reuse it. He says, no shitting, we're not allowed to do that. But we'll get into details a little bit more. But there's one exception to do though is, let's say the dishes were clean. Let's say I took out dishes from my closet. The dishes are clean. But I am not paranoid. You know, we have things running in the house. Baruch Hashem, we have things running in the shul too, besides people. So these dishes were clean. And I rinsed the water because originally the dishes were clean, they were not dirty. So I didn't really accomplish any melacha with it. So you're allowed to use that water for Netilat Yadayim. We'll do alachot more tomorrow.